अगर आप बिल्कुल शॉर्ट टर्म में भी देखें तो food, I mean, like just restaurants are one of the most volatile industries in all of capitalism.
Hmm.
So it's very difficult for kind of heritage to maintain that way,
Right.
firstly.
Right.
Secondly, कि जो जैसे ही बात है ना कि हमारे खानदान में बिरयानी बड़े सालों से पकती आ रही है, तो ये other than maybe like families from certain parts of India is not true for people in Pakistan, right? But even when you take something like the chai, kadhai, like
Hmm.
aloo ki bhujia, lal mirch, whatever, these are all new world food items.
Okay.
So, like they've been in your cuisine for maybe like 200 years, and that's not chai. Chai is not in this list, but the rest of them.
Sure.
And then chai was something that the South Asians didn't drink until like the colonizers did like this massive, and this has been talked about in recent years. So food is in fact one of the places where you see the most rapid sort of cultural changes. It allows more like all of these things again that I'm interested in. They allow like this subversiveness where like where normal society doesn't allow you to interact with margins or different ideas. These like music or intricate or food, we will kind of be okay with tasting the ideas of the
Hmm.
other, so to speak, or the food or whatever, right? So वही चीज है कि मतलब अब जैसे कि बिरयानी और कढ़ाई दोनों जैसे एक things I'm really interested in because they are kind of um, they mark maybe like urbanization or modernization or like a certain community's foods that have kind of gone across,
Hmm.
and why they're popular. The answer is as much in about like how delicious they are as in terms like various violence and power politics being enacted, right? Like एक अगर मैं छोटी सी मिसाल दूं कि अभी it's a very big controversy that when you kind of leave like so when you leave Karachi and entering Balochistan going towards Hub and everything, there's a lot of like there's a lot of like highway ke saath, kind of one
Hmm.
room shops
Hmm.
and restaurants, and all those restaurants are like by their names, and I asked her, I asked some locals, like they're owned by Pashtuns, and there's like a huge influx of Pashtuns from like near Quetta and stuff, and a lot of them are coming because of like 40 years of violence, but it's also like this land is being Baloch land is being given away to non-Baloch people and all of that, and so the food that's being eaten, like the food that's being served at those places is kadhai, right? And like the people who are buying kadhai at these places are most likely not locals who
Hmm.
and who are kind of being erased on multiple levels, right? So the kadhai almost kind of represents that erasure also,
Right.
um, right? तो उस तरीके से मतलब कि I feel food maybe कि जो so many places that we grew up with are shut down, or so many things have like kind of changed, and I'm sure like even though it feels like biryani has always tasted the same, like you can look up recipes and stuff from the past, like things have so everything kind of really evolves, and again like um really when interesting things about food are to be talked about, it's restaurants and commercial things are not as interesting as really talking about what happens inside the homes, like women almost exclusively are cooking, and they're like the way that in the 80s and 90s like Chinese food became a really big thing जो लोगों के घरों पे पकता था, and like garlic mayo and stuff like that. There's a lot of different things that have kind of get accepted. So I think food for me, one of the reasons it's interesting is precisely because it changes so much and so quickly, and absorbs things that like normal social politics don't allow.